So I never thought I would be doing a video like this on my channel. Here we are. We're 7 weeks postpartum, 7 weeks with our baby girl, who is so precious and so beautiful, especially when she's calm, which is rare. I will just say that that's an understatement. But I really felt like I should record this video because I can already feel my memory actively trying to block out how hard it's been. And it makes sense why basically, I'll just say the first week after we had our baby, first of all, the birth, wow, that's a whole nother story I have to get into another time. Had a unmedicated hospital birth, felt like, wow, I can take on anything now. Like after doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. But now, like, no one, like, you hear so much about pregnancy and birth and preparing for birth, even preparing for postpartum. Like, we did all those things, but it's the newborn phase. It's the postpartum challenges in combination with the newborn struggles, in combination with reflux and GERD. Oh my gosh, it totally changes everything and how what your experience is like. Of course, you hear all the time the newborn phase is a struggle, or the postpartum phase is a struggle, but you don't hear the details often, and it makes total sense why. It's way too traumatic for a lot of people to share. Even for myself, again, I can feel my brain blocking out things, and it's like all one big blur. So I really wanted to record this now before I start forgetting more, and I can't document the reality of it because I do want to record and share with other new parents. If you're like me, my past self, I had no exposure to any stories like this. All you hear and see on YouTube and Instagram, social media, is like my newborn routine, like how I like tummy time activities, developmental activities, what you should do and how to care for your baby. Like, these things are very straightforward, and it's like it gives you the impression like, oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, cool. Got those things in my brain. It should be fine. But the reality is so much different. It's not like that in terms of, like school is like, oh, X, Y, or A plus B equals C. And that's kind of like, I think for me, what I've been processing a lot, especially with other moms who, like, so many moms can relate to the struggle, but to varying degrees. But I realized I had, in a lot of ways, the first few weeks been so stressed because I was thinking, how come all the things that I learned in the classes are not applying, are not working in our case? And I just didn't realize there were so many compounding variables on top of each other, amplifying each other, and that it wasn't normal, and also that it's okay to struggle and to be open with these struggles, and that actually every new parent struggles. The thing is, like, no one tells you, like, rarely do people tell you the details. They just say it's hard or it's challenging, it's going to be the hardest thing you ever do. Yeah, but tell me more, right? So this is me here. I'm going to tell you more, because this is what I wish my past self knew and had been mentally prepared for. Like, oh, it can be this challenging. It might not be like this for everyone. And for a lot of people, it's actually not going to be. But I just want to share my experience for other people who have had really challenging first babies, or babies in general, who either have reflux or are colicky, which means they cry a lot, like a lot. And for our baby, very intensely. She's also very sensitive, and I've just recently learned about the term, like, highly sensitive or high needs baby, or what's it called, high spirited babies, which I feel like she fits some of those criteria, not all of them. She's taking a nap right now, thank the Lord. So I am able to record this, and I also have not felt this energized in the past 7 weeks enough to do something like this, but it's been on my heart. I really felt like God was giving me that nudge and that desire to share openly, even though I'm still in the process of just coming out of survival mode, even though it's ups and downs. Like, I'm probably gonna still be in survival mode for a little bit at least. But yeah, it's just been really, really challenging, and I don't want to just let it all fade away and then become another one of those parents who say, yeah, it's going to be hard, and then not be able to remember the details or be able to talk about the details, because that doesn't help other people. I really want to help other people who are going through the same struggles as us to not feel alone, and also to just normalize how hard the newborn phase, reflux, postpartum, anxiety, depression, baby blues, which is not a mild term. It sounds so mild, but it's not. It's really intense. I had really intense baby blues. And how basically when you can't think straight and you have like so much brain fog, I had so much brain fog when I think the first 2-3 weeks, couldn't even make decisions on like what I wanted to eat, or could barely heat up food. Like that's how out of it I was. Yeah, it just really affects everything else. It really does. So yeah, it makes sense why a lot of the stories and the content that's out there is like from moms who seem to have it more together, because they're together enough to put out that content. it's it's us, the moms and the parents, who are struggling a lot, who have another multiple dimensions of how hard it really is, and just have everyone's experience is just so different. So I'll just say, like, on behalf of the moms and the parents, the new parents especially, who you're struggling and you're like, why is there no content about it? Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because we're surviving. We're trying to survive. We're trying to get sleep when we can. And yeah, it really is a miracle that I'm here even recording this right now. Because it was the first time, like today, where I was like, I think I can do it today. I think I can actually start recording something. And also, I looking back, I feel like God has prepared me through reps, through our podcast, through practicing putting out content on my YouTube. Like, honestly speaking, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about specifically on my YouTube channel. I just knew I had this passion to help other people with my own experiences. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just really feel like without all those reps, I probably wouldn't be able to do this without being so scared of like, well, people think I don't want to come off like I'm complaining, and all these like thoughts and limiting beliefs that hold you back from really being open and vulnerable about your struggles. But yeah, I feel ready. I feel like I want to talk about it, and my hope again is that people just feel less alone, and or are mentally more prepared of like, oh, it's okay if it's gonna be hard. Like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm not broken. And so many other people are struggling too. It's just hard to talk about. So yeah, I will go down more rabbit holes and delve into deeper detail on different topics, because they all intertwine and relate with each other and what makes it all so hard. But yeah, I don't have a conclusion for this video, to be honest. Thanks for watching this far. If you have, follow along and subscribe if you want to hear more of the reality, unfiltered challenges of the newborn and postpartum phase that we've been going through. I was even thinking, like, should I turn this into like a mini series on a podcast or something? If I did, it would probably be something like unhinged motherhood, or like unhinged first time parents, because that's literally how I feel right now. But it's been a lot better. I'll just say significantly better now compared to those first few weeks. Was a living nightmare. That's pretty much it for now. But disclaimer for anybody who might be out there being like, oh my gosh, she should be grateful for what she has. I am very grateful. I'm very grateful. At the same time, I realize more than ever now how you really can have two very polar opposite emotions at the same time, of being frustrated, like upset, like exasperated, at the same time as grateful and joyful and obsessed with your baby at the same time. Like, I love my baby, and she is like the most adorable thing. And especially when she, like, my favorite part, I'll just say this before I leave, My favorite part is like when we wake her up from her naps or her sleep before she starts crying. So it's like getting that window. We wake her up and she like stretches out of her swaddle. Maybe I'll include, no, I don't have time or capacity to edit this video, but follow along on Instagram if you want to see some really adorable baby content, because she's just the cutest thing when she stretches and has these like calm moments in between the crying. But I'll just say she has way more crying and fussing, and it used to be the first few weeks was non-stop screaming. That was not cute. That was not pretty. And we were losing our minds. All right, more to come. I don't want to make this too long. Thanks for sticking around. And yeah, if anything, I just hope this helps myself in the future not forget what it was really like. Because all the photos that you can take are when your baby is calm. When they're crying, you are in SOS mode trying to figure out what to do. And you don't really, I don't think many parents have photos and videos of their kid actually crying, which is the majority of what we're experiencing these days.